just for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
Welcome back to my channel, Poshcateyes Unfiltered. Thank you guys for staying tuned. I want to say this particular commentary, we're going to be giving you your flowers. And yes, without you, I wouldn't be doing this. And thank you guys for staying tuned, tuning in, coming back to watch most of my commentary. Now we are at the tail end of things. This is the season finale of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 17. Would I say pack the punch? Not too sure. The particular episode ended with Charles and Angela's gala event. This particular event took the season out. While we're going to crown this whole season with on a positive note, it left a little bit to be desired for us. There were lots of highs, there were lots of lows, and a few in betweens. And one of those highs was, the reintroduction of Phaedra. A bit, higher. The expectations were high, but the delivery was short of anything. Now, again, the most notable low moments was the event that saw Kenya Moore kicked out of the show. That was more than a low moment. That set the tone for the rest of the season. Although the women were able to rally around each other and support each other in Grenada, that was the first girls trip event that was, it started with a high and sort of ended on a high note. And I would like to say thank you to the girls for at least keeping a positive atmosphere in Grenada just to have a good girls time. Now, would I say there weren't a few lows? There were a few lows. We saw the breakdown of relationship between Shemia and Portia, and also the breakdown of relationship at the tail end of things between Kellys and her friend Brit. Now, we all know Brit is going to be coming back next season with us, and thank God for that. But before I get into the commentary proper, I would like to say again, thank you so much for staying on this channel. Keep supporting my channel. Share this channel with your friends, like, comment, and as you all know, I will definitely be giving you a shout out in my next upload. Now, let's end this particular season with a bang. 17, opened with Portia and her sister visiting Phaedra. We all know that they lost a family member of theirs in the last episode, and so obviously, it wasn't a surprise that Phaedra was asked to give a funeral, to manage the funeral arrangement for the cousin. Now, there's one thing that is quite striking, and that's the fact that Phaedra is coming across as very morbid. Now, I know as an undertaker, it's a business and you have to celebrate the passing or the passing and the life of people. But however, the way she's going about it, or the way she's giving us witty comments about her, the nature of her job as an undertaker, is quite morbid. And I don't know, I find it a little bit distasteful. Now, she is happy to oversee this funeral and arrangement. According to her, she is pretty much the usher to the gates of heaven. Pretty much no one goes through the altar or the gates of heaven without going through Phaedra Williams. So Phaedra, we give it to you. You know what? People, as far as you said it best, people are dying to see Jesus Christ. I shouldn't be laughing. And you are maybe on the money here. But yeah, they're coming together with a perfect and a beautiful send-off. And you know what? All the best to Portia and her family as they navigate this traumatic time. Now, I'm going to touch base with Angela Oakley. Angela Oakley, for the first time, she's been talking about the fact that she has a therapist. And this is the first time we're watching a session between her and her therapist. And it came at the very right time, because from the last episode, we saw how a guy called Marcus accosted her at Khaleesi's cooking event to literally lay bare some allegation and mock her marriage. Now, the one strength I love about Angela is she takes no prisoner. She literally did not take that guy seriously, pay him dust, and at the end of it, rose, graciously. But here you could see that particular event rattled her to the core. And so during the therapy session, that particular moment was revisited, as well as other burning issues that plagues her relationship with Charles. No marriage is perfect, guys. Don't be deceived. And the fact that these two are working really hard together, supporting each other in any way they can to progress and grow a healthy relationship. It's a testament. It's a testament to the fact that you have to try. If you don't try, there's no saying you're not perfect, your partner isn't perfect. You don't know it all, your partner doesn't know it all. But with the help of like an expert, a therapist, to navigate all of those nuances, to come help you understand those things that are most pressing, and so you don't see it your way all the time. Well, good on her. She expressed a lot of feelings. She expressed the financial turmoil that she's currently facing. That is with the investment property she has on the market that's just tying down their capital, and that's also causing tensions between her and her husband, because the husband also invested in that business, and it looks like it's not going so well. We did find out at the end that 3 of our houses sold. We don't know if they sold for profit or they sold, at a break-even margin, but two of the sales fell through, and so that is a lot, of emotional and financial drain on her as well as their marriage. And so right as she left this particular counseling session, she had an orbit spirit, going forward. And we also got to find out that she did a deep dive with like a private investigator, aka Drew, to find out or uncover who Marcus really is. And no surprise, they did find out that the guy was linked to one of the housewives on the show and was apparently paid or sent to come and cause chaos. We'll get to that in a minute. Now we see Shemia. Shemia is trying to reintroduce herself to the musical scene. She's holding like a mini concert to get like close, intimate friends to give her positive feedback and critique, so she can apply all of those for when she eventually goes out on tour. Before I say this, in the last episode, I did forget to mention that Shemia and her husband had a loss post their surrogates trial attempts. Now, we did know that they have both been going through the most with trying to have another baby, preferably a male, via surrogates. We saw the outcome of surrogacy on their second child. No blames attached. I haven't got the answers, but it took a toll. And so they tried again, and obviously it was unsuccessful. They are looking to keep trying, but again, I guess assess it based in the moment. And so I wanted to say that because there were a comment that was made in the last episode that I forget to share. Now, Shemia, it was at this particular event of Shemia where she invited all the girls. Posha was a no-show. Now, we know why Posha was a no-show. Posha hasn't been the best supporting friend to Shemia. I don't know if it's out of jealousy. I am short of saying it is. But it's kind of sad to see that your friend is trying out everything to, progress in the musical industry that she's trying to verge into. She said it herself. She's been in the game for 2 decades, if I'm not mistaken. And she is now trying to introduce herself into that again. And there you are, not showing support. It's quite odd, but what can I say? Posha is using the passing or the family tragic event as an excuse to not be present for her friend. At this event, it was quite clear that the relationship between Kelis and Brit is still as frosty, to the point where Brit called Kelis out for having fake Instagram followings. Why does that bother her? I have no idea. Post her mini concert, she had to corner Brit to, I guess, have a conversation as to the back and forth that happened between Brit, Cynthia, and Portia. Now, it was in this at this particular sit down, Brit, 10 foot down and insisted she said what she said, and in representation of what Shemia has shared to her. I can understand. Did this particular conversation happen behind the scene? I would think so, but the timing is what is conflated. I think all of this happened prior to the sit down between Shemia and Portia. But again, how do we cause more rift? How do we extend the storyline? How do we extend the negative press? This is exactly what has happened. And so Shemia is like telling her, I think you're jealous of my friendship with your bestie, Kelis, hence the need to destroy my relationship with Portia, which again makes a little bit of sense. Brit, when you go low, she goes for the jugular. Called her out on parenting. We all know her daughter Shiloh had a medical episode while they were in Grenada. Apparently, Shemia got back and went to party with Kelis in Miami. Now, these are all alleged. We're not there. We don't know. There's no footage of this. Now, Brice is sort of sending accusatory fingers at Shemia for crying a river about the illness of her child and not doing anything about it once she landed in Atlanta. Now, I don't think it's our place to judge any mother for what they do and how they do it. It's not our place. She's got a village around her supporting her. Mom is there. Her husband is at home. Her sisters are there. She's got nannies on speed dial. So, I mean, like, the child is taken care of. We could actually see her taking the child for a checkup with to a physician when she had, I think, croup. So I really don't know what Brit is on about. But again, like I said, when they go low, Brit goes for the jugular. And it was a back and forth accusation thrown everywhere. So was there any resolution? Absolutely not. Shemia just wanted her out of the way. Shemia, called it for what it is. Brit kept on hollering. I'm so glad this woman is not coming back. Honestly, she is too much work. Now, Posha, on the other hand, was upset at Cynthia for sharing the information with Shemia. Now, why not? Why not? You already are refusing to acknowledge your friend, pretending to be in a state of mourning, which we understand, okay? However, you're doing it too much. You're doing too much. If you don't want the friendship, you say it as it is, and then she knows where she stands with you. But when you pretend that there's nothing going on, when in fact you're upset and angry at the fact that someone is carrying a decade-old rumor or a decade-old storyline to make you upset, that doesn't work. I don't know. What's your take? I don't have that many friends, so I might be speaking, out of my behind. Like I said, the night ended with the Charles and Angela gala. This particular event was a befitting one, set to feed people, family, children in need. The well exceeded expectation of the donations or the goal they wanted to achieve. I think it was a $50,000 goal, and they exceeded upon. It was doubled to $100,000 donations that were received. So good on Angela and Charles for throwing this particular gala. They did. I'm not sure what the intent and purpose of giving Portia Williams an award. Apparently, Portia Williams, should I say, heritage and family lines come from givers, because that was the only explanation that was valid in this sense. She did win a humanitarian award from Charles and Angela. I don't know, but good on Angela for peace offering. The peace offering was huge. It was a very big peace offering, given all that has happened all season long. Now, I mean, if you were watching the show that I watched, I don't think I will be doing that. But again, Angela is a lady with class, and she does it her way. Now, this particular night ended in chaos, as with the show and the season. You would have think there will be some form of resolution. Absolutely not. So after the gala and the events, donations had been realized, the girls went to a corner, and very quickly Angela wanted to set the record straight with regards to Marcus. Gathered the girls together and started with the conversation who Marcus was. But before we could go any further with that, Charles didn't want a bow of it. Charles wanted the guy gone. And I can understand Charles' side of it. You don't, as a man, you don't try to bring down another man and expect the man to acknowledge you in his space. Good luck. That guy was so lucky that there were securities around, because he looked like Charles wasn't playing games. He was ready to whoop that guy. But very quickly, as soon as the whole commotion kick-started, Angela was able to simmer her husband down and said, this is to defend you, protect your honor, and clear the air. But Charles was having none of it. Charles eventually left, but Marcus came back, and we saw how his presence on the show came about. Apparently, Phaedra is the godmother or godfather of Atlanta, sent a few informations his way, and he decided to unleash the dragon. Not in Cisco style. Yeah, according to Marcus, Phaedra sent the information his way, and he delivered. Truth or not, he just delivered. So he should not be held responsible for validating what he released, which is quite silly in my opinion. Another words exchange between Phaedra and Angela. Phaedra refusing to take accountability if she did influence Marcus' appearance on the show. We would not know, because the next thing we heard from Phaedra is accusing or calling out Angela for going into foreclosure. Now, I am not sure why you want to shame someone for going into foreclosure. Now, we know Kelly is the debtor here. She's been sued left, right, and center. Now we know currently she's owing $30,000 in some unpaid credit card debt. She's blaming her ex-husband for the credit card debt they would wrapped up together. And we all know that the new venue for her restaurant, Chicken Waffle, is suing her for unpaid rent to the tune of 100 and something grand. So Kelly's, I'm not sure. She should be the one allegedly. But here we are talking about Angela going into foreclosure because she put some of her money behind some investment property that isn't, going the way she desired it to be. It's no shame. You get back from it, you move forward, learn a thing or two. Unlike Phaedra, who feels that it's always going to be high. Well, that's unrealistic if you're living on the planet Earth as we all do. Except there's some other ways you're making your money. That's one thing I love about the public light. Everything you do that is hidden in the dark will always come out in the public light. We just have to be patient and sit down and watch how it unfolds, right? Now, Kelly's, we did hear her tell us the reason why she has decided to take a back seat or backflip, or should I say slow down or put a pause on her new restaurant venture. She just only realized that the fact that she's going through a divorce, it made no business or financial sense to be investing in other business venture because it is still married to stake. But girl, your lawyer should have been telling you that from the very beginning. Like, I'm not sure why you're seeking a new business while going through a divorce. It's not complete. The only time it will be complete is when financial separation has been settled. And I don't know how the American legal system works when it comes to family matter, but I would say that you have to be financially separated from your ex, so that way when you start earning new money, it is considered separate from the matrimonial pool. But I don't know. I really don't know how this women think. But then she's using it as an excuse right at the end of it, because we all now know, or I guess she probably got a few tips or heads up that this will be coming out in the press. So you better, be one step ahead to give us a flimsy excuse as to why you're racking up all this debt. I don't know. The night really did, just like I said, ended in disarray. There was no peace. Portia was blaming Cynthia for telling Shemia what has happened. Shemia, on the other hand, was backing and speaking however way she was talking down to Brit. Brit was, going for the jugular as always, coming across like a crazy woman. In the end, it just ended in disarray. But we do know that Portia is now able to film in her home. Now, prior to season starting, Simon, wrote to the court. Like there was an injunction stopping her from filming. And I guess once she was able to get him under ICE custody, she got access to film in her mansion. But too little too late, the season has ended. Oh, well, that ends well. We do know she won a few from the divorce decree. Simon is alluding to appealing because he feels he was misled, he was deceived. Now, I'm not sure how a grown 60-year-old man will be deceived by a 40-something-year-old girl to marry you. Like, I'm not sure. Simon, that is bouncing off our ears like it doesn't make sense. So take responsibility for your actions. You did what you did. You got what you deserve. You move on. If you've learned something, good for you. If you haven't, good for you. Now, that is it, guys. I don't know what you think. Come on here and share your thoughts. I would like to hear, as this is the final episode before the reunions, it will be nice to hear from you. You never know, you might be getting a shout out from me on my next upload. Thank you so much. As always, stay focused. Remember, you are deserving. Bye for now.